is from the new book. It's How to Be German, Step 90, Fear Bureaucracy Irrationally. My German teacher, Claudia, is what you might call an anti-authoritarian. She can't take anything seriously, particularly the things in life that other people tell her she really should take seriously, such as forms, deadlines, taxes, or the polite requests of people wearing shirts and ties and claiming to be from an important part of the Staatsorgane. She might open a letter, sometimes. Phone calls? Pff, overrated. If it's important, they'll send a letter. Tax returns? Do you think she might have had a letter about that? Tax is optional though, right? Like calling distant relatives on their birthdays. When I learnt this about Claudia, it came as quite a shock. In comparison to her laissez-faire approach to life, whenever I receive a letter containing the word Mahnung, I immediately begin packing a suitcase, ready to begin my life as a fugitive. Claudia was the first person I ever met who didn't take German bureaucracy seriously. She only ever referred to the Finanzamt as the Kuschelamt, for example. The Kuschelamt seemed ridiculous to me. I think she last replied to a letter from the Finanzamt back in the 90s, via fax. Lovely people, she assured me. You can always send them a letter or pop in and see them to apologise for whatever you haven't done this time. And are so understanding. The Finanzamt? I replied in shock. I have nightmares about these people. I assume the second I get audited, it's a bit like getting an invite to overnight at Hotel Guantanamo. Claudia laughed. She showed me a recent email she'd sent them that included smileys. Wait, I said. You send smileys to the Finanzamt. Isn't that a bit like sending a bullet to the Queen? No, they like smileys too, she replied. They're just people like us. The Finanzamt are just people like us? This was a revelation to me. I'd always pictured them as a kind of Judge Dredd of spreadsheets. I mean, German bureaucracy is world famous, huh? Like überflüssiger Papierkram. It's a core part of the country's international brand. It's not something you can just trifle with, surely. And yet, here was Claudia, openly daring to defy it without any obvious consequences, as far as I could see. Consequences like a lost night's sleep, or a fine, or a really lengthy jail time. And so I started polling other friends, and to my surprise, many told similar stories. German bureaucracy has a terrifying reputation, yes, they all agreed, but actually it's fine. Its bark is way worse than its bite. Some stuff they did, other stuff they simply ignored. Sometimes they met a deadline, other times they didn't. The people they communicated with were almost always nice and understanding. No, they had no idea either why everyone was so terrified of German bureaucracy. German bureaucracy, I've now come to realise, is actually fair and flexible. You can go ahead and fear it, as almost everyone does. But if you do get the guts to pull back that curtain, you'll probably find on the other side are, nice people, relaxing, drinking coffee, maybe doing a bit of light stamping, and of course, enjoying smileys. People just like us, well aware that they ask too much, that we'll never deliver, and in the end, that's just fine. So, thank you, and I hope that I've cured your fear of German bureaucracy.